Dear audience, welcome to the show POWERchat. In today's episode, we are discussing about approaches to development. Joining us today is Dr. R.C. Lamichhane, Vice Chairperson of City Planning Commission, Pokhara. Please allow me to welcome him. Welcome to the show, Dr. Lamichhane.
Thank you, sir.
How have you been?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, you have yet to resume the office, but you are appointed as the Vice Chairperson of City Planning Commission
Yes.
by Pokhara Metropolitan City.
Mhm.
And you have been into the field of appreciative inquiry,
Yes.
training and research and all. How do you see the approaches of development taking place in Nepal in all levels of governments?
Well, thank you very much. So we have been practicing development since long back. We have the history of around 70 years of the development of the country. It was started in around 1956 when the first plan was introduced in the country. Since then, every government has been giving the full efforts for the development. But the people's satisfaction seems less than the expectation. So in this regard, we have the new governing system in the country. We have 3 tiers government: federal level, provincial level, and local level. So after the election of the local level, people are quite optimistic, and the many leaders have been given their efforts for the local level development. In that context, this country needs a very participatory and inclusive approaches for the development, and I think this is the right time to intervene for the new approaches for the local level development.
Why do you think that people are not satisfied with the approaches to development? What is the reasons behind their dissatisfaction towards development delivery?
Because our social indicators are quite low. That's why our country is regarded as least developed country, and the people are not getting proper service what they have to get from the government. So that is the reason people are unsatisfactions. So in this regard, if any government like a local or provincial or federal government want to satisfy to the people, they have to change their development approach. That has been proven. That has been proved.
What are the alternatives? What are your suggestions as a planner?
So as a planner, what I suggest to is that the plan should have to start it from the grassroots level, and the plan has to address the needs of the marginalized people of the country. So the plan has to address all the potential and all the possibilities that are available in the local level for the most marginalized community.
What are their needs?
Their needs is if we see materialistic approach, they have some of the segment of the people of the country is fighting for the basic fulfillment of the basic needs. However, our constitution has ensured the basic needs of the people, and the local government and other government are responsible to deliver the basic needs of the people. So basic needs is the first needs of the local people, and then there is the needs of identity, and the needs of self-respect.
Their criticism, Dr. Lamichhane, that there are good planning on hand, but their execution or their implementation is very poor. So plans produced or prepared by any commissions, say that of the National Planning Commission or the policy commissions at the province level, and say now there are 2 city planning commissions.
Right.
One in Kathmandu and Pokhara. The Pokhara Commission you are leading, you are yet to resume the office at.
Right.
But what you have to say about the criticism that plans are not appropriately executed and implemented?
First, I should comment, the plans are not made as per the need of the people. So that is very much sophisticated and intellectually described plans. So I should suggest the plans are made based on the people's needs, hopes, and aspirations. So here we need to change the planning system of the Here we need to change the planning system of the government.
And are you of the opinion that the plans were not participatory?
Yes, they were not participatory, and they were very much intellectual and very much theoretical. They were very much past oriented. based on the like past weaknesses and past failures. So
what is your vision as
so,
Vice Chairperson of City Planning Commission in
what I
Pokhara?
think is that we have to find out all the potential, all the strength of the localities. Like if I am leading the Pokhara Metro Municipality, we have to see the all the strength of the Pokhara Metropolitan City, and then we need to go we need to find out the possibility and potential of the Pokhara city, and then based on that strength and potential, we can develop the plan.
How can that planning, affect positively to other parts of Nepal?
So I think if we can make the good plan and that reflect and that can deliver the good result for the people and the city, then automatically that can be replicated other area.
There are media reports and there is discussion that one section of society is, getting more opportunities. They're getting rich.
Right.
And the another section of society at the same time, they are not having appropriate access to, state facilities. And they are not participating in with the full ownership in development plannings or execution.
That is true.
What are the ways, addressing this challenge?
So we have the planning system that some bureaucrats and some intellectual people, they were leading the planning process. If we can convert that process to the participatory one and go to the grassroots level people and collect their opinion and ask for their hope and aspiration, then we can change the scenario. The distribution of the opportunity is like that 20% elites are getting 80% opportunity and 80% population are compelled to satisfy with the 20% opportunity. So that is very much uneven, and we have to change through the planning process.
It's already been, 2+ years, 3+ years, elections to local governments took place, and we have drafted with the new constitution. Already been, about 1.5 decades that the monarchy ended.
Right.
Why still there are problems? Why we are still talking about participation is not appropriate? There is no participatory approach. Do you see some faults in the governing system?
Like first I would say like mindset of the people and mindset of the leaders and bureaucrats. So that has impacted the whole planning process and implementation process. We can see the huge participation of people in the political process, but the development peoples are isolating from the development process. Very few people leading the development process. So we need to change that. We need to bring the more people in the development process, and that can be done through the planning process. So if we can incorporate more people in the like planning process, then we can invite more people in implementation process. And if many people participate in the implementation process, all the shortcomings and irregularities will be raised. So
could you also tell us, Dr. Lamichhane, the gaps between urban and rural development?
Right, there is huge gap between urban and rural. Like Pokhara has 3 kind of community. One is the very developed city, like core city area. Another one is developing city areas, and some of the parts of the Pokhara is very much rural area. So we have to plan based on the characteristics of the location and the people. So there is the gap. Rural people are less advanced than the urban people, so we need to uplift the rural people, and we need to empower urban people to support to the rural people. So yes, there is the gap, and that must be minimized.
Another criticism to the government delivery of in the recent days is that there is no appropriate coordination among 3 tiers of government: federal, provincial, and local. So what should be done so that there is equal ownership and at the same time their delivery is up to the standard, up to the people's expectation?
So we can see the lacking of the coordination and collaboration among the three government. That is reflected in the daily. We can assume, anyone can assume that there is the lacking. You know why this is happening? Because the federal government has ensured the Khushi Nepali, Samriddha Nepal.
That is happy Nepali, prosperous Nepal.
Yes, happy Nepali and prosperous Nepal. And the province and the local government, they has to develop all their plan in this line, but that is missing somehow. Because to understand this slogan, they have their own meaning. There should be a consensus meaning. and there should be a common understanding among all government representative and government leaders. That is lacking. That's why the coordination is not happening among the government. Some of the municipalities, they have given high priority for the road. Some has given the high priority for the hydro project, and some of them are giving high priority for the human resources. So that is being mismatch. So the country has to understand what is the first cause that make happen to realize this country slogan. So that is lacking. That's why coordination is not happening among the government.
What, according to you, are the key areas that needs to be incorporated within development plan so that the slogan of Happy Nepali and Prosperous Nepal would be executed properly?
So I think this is the 21st century, and 21st century is regarded as the knowledge and wisdom. And the human potential and human resources key factor for the development. So our government, any level of the government, has to give the high focus for the human resource development. I mean, university, school, colleges, that should be remain in the center of the development policy. So I found some of government is not given proper attention toward this institution. So first is human resource development. Second is social and cultural development. Third is capital formation, and fourth is infrastructure development, and fifth is international relation or something like that. I think that should be our priority.
Do you think that the bureaucracy or the people in the planning are capable enough to address these issues?
I think they are very much capable enough, but somehow mindset need to be changed.
How can that mindset be changed? You are also engaged in appreciative inquiry, trainings, and all these workshops. What is your reflection?
So I think the mindset can be changed if we are accountable toward our society and coming generation. We need to look for the coming generation, not for the past generation. If we can look forward for the coming generation, and we need to believe that our coming generation is equally competent any citizen of the world. So if we can build up the institution like academic institution or educational institution, if we can focus on the human resource development, then we can change our mindset. So our policy makers, they need to change the mindset, and they need to focus on the human resource.
Well, let's talk about the specific works of City Planning Commission.
Okay.
What are you going to do? Why there is need of City Planning Commission? At time there are several types of commission, National Planning Commission, Policy Commission at the federal level. What are the specific mandates of the City Planning Commission in Pokhara?
So I'm very newly appointed, and as you told that I am not resume my office at all, and I'm very close to resume all the office. So far, my understanding about the City Planning Commission is to make the plan for the city that develop city in a sustainable way and bring lots of opportunity for the citizen of the city. So here we need to be very much practical and find out lots of opportunities for the people of the city.
What are the challenges in the fast-growing cities like Kathmandu and Pokhara and other places around?
So I think Pokhara has lots of opportunity. Pokhara has more opportunity than challenges. So, however, there are challenges. If I say one challenge is that is the people's mindset. So people must think that development is our cup of tea. It's not government responsible. And we are the citizen responsible for our city development. If we can build up that kind of mindset in the people, then there will be the magical development in the city.
Criticism is there as well that cities are cities in the name, and there are very less facilities around.
Right.
So what are you planning to address this issue?
So I think we have to collaborate with the people, and we need to sit together and ask people what sort of city they want to see, and to make the city to make the city like their desire, what they are really want to contribute for this city. And then we can have the huge collaboration with the people of the city. Then I think we can make the better city.
Where are these cities now? Where do you want to see these cities after 5 years, say Pokhara or Kathmandu, since there are only two city planning commissions so far? So what is your vision of approaching development, executing development?
So I think the participatory development planning will be there, and then we can find out all the strength of the city, and then we can ask people to unleash their strength, so that we can make the better city. I mean, like that should be environmentally friendly, culturally very much sound, and then infrastructure, all inclusive infrastructure and environmental friendly infrastructures, and very renowned academic institutions, so that we can make the Pokhara the educational hub, and that can replace the Darjeeling and Dehradun. So we can invite more people to Pokhara for the educational intake. So that is how potential all are available in the Pokhara. So I think that should be harvested in our planning.
Well, really motivating issues around. How do you see the changed political context? At the beginning you said very interesting thing that people's desires, they are dissatisfied and all. Do you see the possibility of satisfaction among the citizens of this country as a planner?
Yes. I can see lots of potential for the people's satisfaction. We have lots of institutions, like political institutions are big. We have very big political parties. If the political parties take care of their supporters and voters, then the country will be changed. However, the political party needs to shift their paradigm to see their voters, well-wishers, and the cadres. That should be very much, delivery oriented, rather than some populist or something.
What do you have to say about the quality of education? You're talking about Pokhara making the education hub.
Right.
Are you satisfied with the the human resources coming from our universities, and are they capable enough contributing to the development of society?
I am not satisfied, but what I can see the possibility is that if our academician and educational institution wants, they can create outstanding human resources within 2 or 3 years. So we have huge potential waiting for us, and it is our responsibility to cultivate new thinking in our academic institutions. So we have opportunity.
Do you see the resources are enough? You're also talking about that there is lack of resources and all.
I don't think the resource limitation. If we think, we can manage the resource. Our thinking is limitation. Resource is not.
Also, it is said that Dr. Lamichhane, often development priorities are, shadowed by the interest of donors.
Right.
So,
right.
How do you see this?
Yeah, you see, our country is regarded as one of the least developed country. But I should say, I am not agree with that statement. If we see GDP or per capita income, we might be least developed, but we are the one of the developed country, because the development always determines the cultural expression, hope, and the happiness of the people. If we see from this perspective, we have our culture, we have hopeful people, we have very hardworking people and smart people, and our culture is very much 5,000 years old. So that is more than enough to take up our development. So if you see all the developed country, and if you see their history, they have started the development from that point of that points. So we have already that.
But people don't have access to the fundamental rights provisions, including that of the health and all.
No, we have institution. We have health institution, we have academic institution, but they are suppressed, and we need to revive that. We don't need to restart new, we don't need to establish new institution. If we only revive them, we have more than enough. So the problem is that when I was in my school, I did all the schooling from the government school, and I feel proud with my schools and teachers. But when the chance has come for my son's school, and I scared to send him to the same school where I was graduated, it means that the school's quality is suppressed. So we need to revive that, and we can do that.
How do you see the situation that a woman dies during her pregnancy just because she does not have access to appropriate health, and a girl is discriminated on the basis of gender, and she is not sent to schools? These situations are in existence in Nepal.
Yeah, but the hopeful and positive situation is that we have institutions in every ward. We have health institutions. We need to revive them. Why that is not happening? Our whole country is focused, gone to the infrastructures. So that's why I said that the infrastructure is the secondary priority. Primary is the human resource development. If you have the healthy born child, then country can take up, the development can be take up. So here, instead of like, if we calculate the cost of the development, if we want to revive one institution, let us say one primary school or one health post, that cost is less than 1 kilometer road pitch. If we can invest the amount of the 1 kilometer roads in one health post, that became outstanding. So here we need to shift our paradigm. Here we need to shift our development priority. And the country has to, like municipality or country has to give the first priority for the people, not for the material. We are giving huge priority on the material, not the people.
Would you be able to convince bureaucrats within your city so that they shift their priorities from infrastructure to humanity?
Yes, that will be my top priority and efforts. I will give my full effort to convince them to shift the priority from material to human resource. So
well, good. There are many interesting issues you are sharing with us, but we are coming to the end of the show. Do you have any specific thing that you want to share to our audience that I have left to ask you?
Well, I think Pokhara is the outstanding place. It's a heaven, and Pokhara has deserved everything what the most developed place has. So I think by next 5 years we can make the Pokhara outstanding destination for the world, and it can circulate the masses for the whole old community as the fast growing city with the environmental friendly and cultural prosperity and economic development. So that is what I am envisioning for the Pokhara.
Well, Dr. Lamichhane, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Dear audience, time now to wrap up the show. Keep watching us. See you next week. Namaste.